Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you. Every weekday, about 10,000 employees drive to work in office parks in the sprawling suburbs of North Dallas, Texas. Come midday, a lot of those same employees will head to lunch and retail stores at nearby shopping centers in the town of Frisco. The result, crammed parking lots and stress-inducing experiences. In hopes of alleviating these headaches, Craig Holm, a real estate magnate who built this area, first considered running shuttle buses between the two locations. "We thought, why not do a shuttle from here to there?" he said Monday, sitting in the lobby of one of his newest buildings. From there, it wasn't a big leap to, why not an autonomous shuttle? That's easier said than done, considering that autonomous driving technology is scarcely available for public use in only a handful of pilot projects across the nation. But that's exactly what Hull and an assembled group of partners are doing. Come July, 4 self-driving vehicles owned and operated by Drive.ai, a Silicon Valley startup, will run routes between the office park and the Star, a nearby entertainment district that, among other things, contains 30-plus restaurants and the corporate headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. Portions of the routes will be on public roads. This will mark the first public deployment of the self-driving technology developed by Drive.ai, founded 3 years ago by graduate students from Stanford University's Artificial Intelligence Laboratory. When the Drive.ai vehicles start carrying passengers, they'll join a select number of autonomous projects, such as Waymo's driverless operations in Phoenix and the Joint Lyft, Aptiv project in Las Vegas, that have moved beyond the engineering phase and now transport members of the public. Grab, a popular ride-hailing network in Asia, is an investor in Drive.ai, which has also partnered with Lyft. But Drive.ai has developed its own app for this new service, which employees of the office park can use to hail vehicles on demand and be picked up or dropped off at fixed locations. Although this aims to be a true driverless operation, human safety drivers will remain behind the wheel for the time being. Drive.ai will gradually replace them with chaperones, who will monitor the ride and answer questions from riders. At some point that is not yet determined, the chaperones, today's equivalent to the elevator operator of the past, will fade away. Gradually, the number of routes, vehicles, and destinations will expand throughout the town of Frisco. For now, the company's chief executive officer likes that they're starting small. "Let's keep the problems constrained," said Sammy Tangdon, co-founder and CEO of Drive.ai. "We know there are hard problems. We know we will solve them over time. We know we want to do something today." What brought this fledgling operation to fruition in Frisco, beyond the technology itself, is a series of regulatory and logistics decisions. Last year, Texas enacted a business-friendly, statewide law that paved the way for automated driving deployments. Locally, the city government has sought transportation-related innovations to ease travel through a rapidly growing exurb. Addressing the limitations of AI. Frisco has already partnered with Uber and Waze, and its willingness to work with Drive.ai made it an ideal location for the company's first pilot. One of the more demanding technical challenges for autonomous vehicles is driving through construction zones. Rather than force the issue, the city's transportation department will provide Drive.ai with updates on road closures and construction zones so that routes can be adjusted to avoid them altogether. Avoiding tough scenarios won't scale up to cover large or multiple areas, but for community-based projects like this one, it helps to get started. A construction worker with a sign saying that you should go here or there, that becomes very challenging for an AI to understand, Tandon said. Together, we can shape a much more cohesive and safe self-driving car and do it today by addressing the limitations of AI. They let us know there's a construction site coming, and we can route our vehicles a different way. That's possible through well-designed public-private partnerships, and we can expand the playbook we use to scale over time. Tandon spoke extensively about the limitations of current deep learning technology in artificial intelligence, a refreshing break from the hype dispensed by many Silicon Valley executives. For situations the vehicles cannot decipher, Drive.ai has installed a teleoperations system underpinned by 3 separate cellular connections, which would allow a remote operator to see and steer through complicated situations. That's not to say the vehicles, Nissan NV200 vans outfitted with 4 LiDAR sensors, 10 cameras, and front-facing radar, can't handle complexity. On a ride along, our vehicle encountered more than a few thorny scenarios on a route shorter than 2 miles. Right out of the parking lot, the shuttle navigated 6 lanes of cross-traffic, waiting for an opening among 3 northbound lanes, pausing at a wide median in the middle of Gaylord Parkway, and then proceeding to cross the 3 southbound lanes. At a traffic light soon after, we encountered a scenario that couldn't have been staged for the purposes of the demonstration. As we proceeded straight through an intersection on a green light, a car headed in the opposite direction made a sudden left turn immediately in front of our NV200, necessitating firm application of the brakes. It was a reassuring sign the vehicle could brake hard when necessary. Overall, though, the shuttle applied a gentle touch that can be expected from only the most seasoned autonomous developers. Best known as a workhorse in the New York City taxi fleet, the NV200 provided comfortable driving dynamics that felt smoother than the rides provided by some others in the field that are running prototypes on comparable closed campus or restricted routes. In prior demonstrations, some of those vehicles have displayed herky-jerky motions. But those companies, such as Navia, for one example, are using larger vehicles that can seat as many as 14 passengers. In its current configuration for Drive.ai, the NV200s will seat 3 rear passengers. Speaking to other cars on the road, the real differentiator between Drive.ai's service and those of competitors may not comfort for riders but how other road users view and interact with the vehicles. Most other companies are doing their best to make their self-driving fleets blend in with traditional traffic by eschewing branding and concealing their automated nature as much as possible. Drive.ai wants its vehicles to stand out. The NV200s are painted a shrill orange with the idea that the distinctive color will command attention from other road users who will grow to hold specific expectations of how the self-driving vehicles will behave. It's bright orange for a reason, and we feel there's a moral obligation for self-driving car companies to make their vehicles visually distinctive, Tandon said. It's analogous to a school bus. You know it's a vehicle with a different set of expectations. When you have that, you can cohesively shape the environment around that vehicle. Drive.ai's vehicles also are the first in the industry to have screens affixed to the exterior to communicate with pedestrians and other motorists through messages and icons. 4 screens will share messages. If a pedestrian is detected, a screen might display, "Waiting for you to cross," or at a stop, it might say, "Passengers entering, exiting." For a fellow motorist who allows the car to merge into traffic, it might even convey, "Thank you." The communications are a work in progress and Drive.ai continues to study best practices and most effective messages. There are possible complications. Federal regulations stipulate what kinds of exterior lighting can be placed on vehicles. The company said it is adhering to them and working with regulators. The signs may not be understood by children or those who can't read English. Drive.ai said the vehicles will show messages in the primary language in their area of deployment. Still, the signs represent an innovation in an attempt to solve what can seem like an intractable problem. "It's an important thing," said Chip Alexander, principal designer of human robot interaction for Drive.ai and a veteran of automotive design. When's the last time you crossed in front of a car at a stop sign without locking up and making sure the driver saw you? You make eye contact with the driver. We don't have that anymore, so the computer needs to communicate to you and say, "I see you, I'm waiting for you." We think this is better than manually driven cars, because we often see situations where one car stops, and a pedestrian starts walking, and then another car says, "Why is that idiot stopping?" goes around, and almost hits the person. Like Tandon, Alexander was candid about wanting to learn more about how the exterior screens are utilized and perceived by road users during this project in Frisco. The pilot program is slated to run for 6 months under the current Memorandum of Understanding, but with aspirations on all sides to make it a long-term partnership. There were aspects of the project on which Drive.ai executives and engineers were tighter-lipped. They would not say, for example, how many edge case scenarios its systems are tested against in simulation, except to say the number is sufficient to give them confidence in its safety. Although they noted the speed limits on the public roads along the routes reached 45 miles per hour, they wouldn't say whether the ONV200s would travel at those speeds or whether there was a predetermined maximum. And they declined to say which supplier provided the LiDAR sensors used on their vehicles. But overall, the company demonstrated that its automated driving system, developed entirely in-house, can handle intricate traffic scenarios. And it showcased a business model based as much on offering specific, geofenced transportation solutions as on developing the technology itself. "This is the blueprint in our minds for other communities," Tandon said. "But today, it's about Frisco and how this is going to be a success, and by starting with the smaller scope, we're much more able to shape expectations and address concerns." In a state built on an assumption that everything bigger is better, Drive.ai has made a convincing argument for the value in starting small. Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you.